is Kelly. I got involved in the ReFrame project because I had had about 18 months of a very difficult time in my life with mental illness, and I thought it was something worthwhile to be involved in and to try something different as well.
My name is Sylvia Stonehouse. When I suffered PTSD through some unfortunate circumstances, I thought this is going to be a good way to go out, meet some other people in a safe environment, do some art, which I love, and it's going to be helping the general community to understand that mental illness is not something to be ashamed of. Anybody can suffer mental illness. Anybody.
I'm Elaine and I work at the City of Rockingham in community development. The ReFrame project came from the idea to reframe that conversation around mental illness, to be able to say actually it is okay to talk about it. And we're also going to understand that it's a really natural process that a lot of people go through. In the City of Rockingham, there's a number of people who are experiencing mental illness or have been impacted by suicide loss. And so knowing that that's such a significant part of our population, it was important to be able to have that community voice recognised and to have an ongoing acknowledgement of those experiences. And so this was the beginning of the ReFrame project, and it was very much centred around the idea of going to our local community and asking the people who have the lived experience what their journeys of recovery look like.
So I suffered from depression. I had heard about it and I knew people have had it, but until it happened to me, I didn't realise how debilitating it was. It affected every aspect of my life. Even simple things like getting out of bed was impossible. Some very severe consequences for my job at the time. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Yeah.
When I suffered PTSD, the overwhelming distress you go through when you realise you're not in control of the way your body's reacting to the triggers, you feel very ashamed, very, very embarrassing. You don't want people to know that you are a wreck emotionally.
It's obviously a very significant thing to ask people to talk about a very vulnerable story. And so that was one of the things we found really important to keep coming back to, about how are we doing this in a way that makes people feel comfortable with how their stories are being told. And so we partnered up with 2 local organisations in the mental health field, the Rockingham Salvation Army and the Mind Australia Quilena Step Up, Step Down program. And they identified that art therapy was one of the great ways to be able to engage people in a way that's both creative but also is safe and appropriate.
I'm Paul Davis from Reflective Visions Art Therapy, and I help people with lived experience of mental illness brainstorm their recovery strategies, things that help them live well with their mental illness. In art therapy, we use visual media because words don't necessarily always come to mind for people, and for them to think in images or experiences, it can help people make new meaning about the stories in their lives.
I did 2 pieces. I did a bonsai tree and I did a poodle. because I couldn't go outdoors socially. So I started taking my little micro teacup poodles in my shoulder bag. I snuck them on the train, I snuck them on the bus, I even went on the South Perth ferry and nobody knew they were there. And they made me feel safe, because if they didn't like someone, they'd growl.
So the things that have helped me in my mental health journey have been yoga and the importance of my pets, which is I'm a cat person. The things that help me with yoga and with my cat is that it's very calming. It's about quieting the mind down. And I also had a little peace bird, sort of symbolised that there is hope. There is hope, yeah.
We heard from quite a few different participants about what kind of art installation they would like to see. We identified that a mural is a great way to be able to keep all those ideas together and also to tell people's individual stories.
My name is Carol Clitheroe. I'm from Never Ending Designs and I'm the principal visual artist. So my job was to take the participants' ideas and put them all together into something that was very pleasing as a mural. It was quite a challenge because everyone's artwork was very different. So what I had to do was look at things that came up quite often in the participants' art. So I'd look at what the colours they were using and the symbols that they were using, and then find a way to honour their artwork. So some of the images are directly out of their paintings. So the mural depicts a person who is part of a tree, and all of these little images are coming out which depict things that are relevant to the participants. There's music, there's puzzles, there's flowers. There were a lot of pets which were very important in their life. And when I looked at some of the words at the workshops, some people were letting go of things. And so the dandelion was a symbol of seeds blowing away. So being able to let go of something. So I felt that that was a really nice relevance to the mental wellness theme.
One of the most rewarding parts of the ReFrame project was when people were talking about all their different recovery strategies. Somebody came up with the phrase, "Find what works for you." And it was acknowledging that it takes many different strategies to help people cope with mental illness. And I think it's just really symbolic of the ReFrame project, finding what is your thing that helps you live in this fairly stressful world that we live in.
It's so exciting to see it. One of the big things I like about it is that you can pick out pieces and talk about what it means to you. I think it's really, very powerful. Such a beautiful image.
I love the way Carol's done the colours coming outwards, like a warm glow. It's got a warmth to it, it's lovely.
It's been incredible to see the final mural go up. We could have never anticipated what that would be like to see it all pictured at the end. Their voice has been so powerful for so many people and has really just been so inspiring to me personally.
And I've learned a lot too, I think, in the fact it's the small things that mean a great deal to people, like music, birds and singing, or just a beautiful day. It can trigger lovely emotions in you, and for people who are perhaps having a struggle, these things can mean a lot.
When I think back to what I was like, I can see that I've had a lot of change in how I think about things, and being open to different experiences probably been the life-changing thing for me.
It was a real bright spot in my life to be involved in the workshops, and I feel that it's worthwhile participating because the more people open up and honestly talk about the issues they've had with mental illness, the more it will encourage people to know that they're not alone, that there are people going through the same thing, and we're finding ways of coping, we're finding ways of overcoming our problems.
You know, we all have things that we enjoy or do differently, and if that's what brings you peace and calm and enjoyment in your life, you know, make that time for it.
The hope for this project is that it raises our community awareness of the experience of mental illness. In fact, there is places that they can find help, but also connecting them to things that help them stay well and to connect with others who share those passions. And so through the mural, those conversations will hopefully keep happening throughout our community in the years to come.